Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol orders the relief of 2 National Food Authority officials in Region 3. Ray Pelayo explains why in this exclusive report.
The Department of Agriculture has relieved from the positions the Region 3 Director of the National Food Authority and the agency's manager in Bulacan. During an interview in the program Get It Straight with Daniel Razon, Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol said this is following the discovery of hundreds of thousands of rice bags inside big warehouses in their area during a surprise inspection in Marilao, Bulacan.
Today, actually, I have ordered the relief of the Director of Region 3, NFA. And I have also ordered the relief of the manager of NFA, Bulacan. Sapagkat hindi ako naniniwala na hindi nila alam kung saan yung bodega dyan may tinatagong bigas.
A 250,000 peso bounty for whoever could provide information against rice hoarding in the country. During the interview, Secretary Piñol also announced his plan to formalize the creation of a task force that will conduct a nationwide inspection of warehouses in the country. The task force will be headed by the current head of DA's Internal Affairs Division, retired Marine Colonel Danilo Luna. The team will be working with representatives from the DILG, PNP, and BOC, among others. According to Secretary Piñol, the move is part of DA's intensified crackdown against rice hoarders. Those who will be caught hoarding rice supply will have their stocks confiscated and are likely to face lifetime imprisonment for charges of economic sabotage. Ray Pelayo, UNTV, News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Authorities are set to launch a crackdown against illegal miners in the Cordillera region beginning October. Nel Maribok tells us why.
Small-scale miners in the Cordillera region who will continue to operate despite the stoppage order of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources will face arrest starting October 1. This is based on an advisory released Monday by the National Task Force Mining Challenge in relation to the Oplan Itogon.
Will be immediately restrained, read his right, inform of his violation, and brought to police precinct for further questioning and possibly filing of a case against his person.
The measure is in line with the order of the DENR on all small-scale mining operations in the Cordillera region after the tragic landslides that killed a number of residents. The operation will be implemented by members of the NTFMC together with personnel from the Philippine Army, the Philippine National Police, the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, and the National Bureau of Investigation.
May ibang mga personnel from yung mga technical person para ayusin yung operation niya. Towards regulation pa rin.
However, some miners are seemingly confused about the situation. This is because according to Engineer Lomino Caniteng, the president of Benguet Small-Scale Miners Federation, the government has just asked for a list of affected miners once the mine sites are closed. Caniteng says around 20,000 miners from 88 associations are likely to suffer job cuts in Benguet. This is apart from the other miners in other places of Cordillera region.
Yung pamilya namin, yung immediate na kailangan gaya ng mga pagkain kahit mayroong binibigay yung gobyerno, yung immediate na pang-matrikula ng mga apo.
Nalilito tayo rito dahil parang hindi coordinative ang ng gobyerno dito sa stoppage order.
What is important for them now is the government's promise of financial assistance once the stoppage order takes effect on October 1.
Because it has a domino effect. It affects economics, it affects social, it affects education, it affects livelihood. There are about almost 20,000 small-scale miners. That is 88 associations throughout the province.
The group will appeal to DENR to reconsider and restudy its stoppage order on complete ban of small-scale mining in the region. Meanwhile, Itogon Mayor Victorio Palandan once again urges residents to evacuate ahead of the approaching Typhoon Paeng.
Kakalyan nga taga-Tram dahito nga area kat indeclare ti MGB nga delikado na ito eh. Iso nga ibagbagami ka na kayo nga basta todo mapan kayo evacuation centers tayo.
Latest report from Disaster Office shows that 99 people were killed after Typhoon Ompong pummeled the Cordillera region. Nel Maribuho, UNTV News and Rescue, Itogon, Benguet.
The Mines and Geosciences Bureau is currently probing the possible causes of flooding that affected most of Marikina City and San Mateo, Rizal during days of monsoon rains last August. Local authorities are also taking measures to identify calamity-prone areas in Rizal following the deadly landslide incidents that struck areas in Cebu and Benguet. Charlie Barredo tells us why.
The Mines and Geosciences Bureau in Calabarzon is not discounting the possibility that the quarry operations in Region 4A might have caused the flooding in Marikina City and San Mateo, Rizal last August. This is despite the result of a geohazard mapping by the MGB, which shows that days of monsoon rains triggered floodwaters to submerge the said areas.
Yung mga binaha nitong nagdaang habagat ay we already identified them as moderate to highly susceptible to flooding. So yun. But we could not blame everything to the quarry and crushing plant operations. Mahirap naman yun. Nasisihin natin sila ng walang scientific basis.
The probe follows the order of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources to suspend quarrying operations for 15 days after the recent landslide incidents in Itogon, Benguet, and Naga City in Cebu that claimed many lives. Despite the brief reprieve in quarrying, villagers in Rizal still fear the illegal quarry operators will take advantage of the situation that might put more people at risk.
Kung babasahin mo yung guidelines ng DNR regarding sa quarry, napakaganda, no? Pero dun sa mga nagmimina o nagko-quarry ng illegal, yan talaga, dispabor po ako dyan.
Oo, maraming tao nakakita sa amin kung paano bahain yung aming loob ng bahay. Yun, nilagyan nga namin ng simento para hindi pumasok ulit.
In a bid to allay the qualms of the residents, the Rizal Provincial Environmental and Natural Resources Office is taking proactive measures to identify and warn people living in landslide-prone areas in the province.
Ang lahat po ng mayor, yung mga kapitan, tsaka yung mga purok leader, bibigyan po namin ng sulat na nakalagay po dito na yung mga lugar na nasasakupan nila ay posible po magkaroon ng pagguho ng lupa.
Charlie Barredo, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Malacanang remains confident that the group behind the ouster plot against President Rodrigo Duterte will not succeed following the social weather station's latest poll on the administration's performance. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
The Duterte administration's war on drugs campaign remains popular among Filipinos according to the latest survey released by the social weather stations. The anti-drug initiative received a very good net satisfaction rating of positive 65, a 1-point increase from the 64 rating in March. The survey conducted on June 27 to 30 among 1,250 respondents shows that 8 out of 10 Filipinos are satisfied with the implementation of President Rodrigo Duterte's anti-drug war. 73% of respondents who are contented with the anti-drug war are also satisfied with the performance of the president. The high rating comes amid continuous criticisms against Duterte's campaign from international human rights organizations and other international bodies. With this, Malacanang believes that the groups who are plotting to overthrow Duterte will not succeed.
We are confident that we enjoy overwhelming support from the people, and therefore what these groups would want to see, the ouster of President Duterte, will not happen.
Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque also insists the validity of Duterte's claims, citing an intelligence information from the Armed Forces of the Philippines on the alleged Red October ouster plot concocted by the leftist groups with some opposition members. When asked about the action of the government against the plot, Roque says the Duterte administration will just let the public know since most of them voted for President Duterte. The PNP meanwhile assures it will continue to monitor the alleged Red October movement of the leftist groups.
Ayaw naman natin malihitin yung kanilang effort. Pero siguro yung mga tao, I think they're all educated already. Nakita naman nila kung gaano kaganda magpalakad naman itong present administration at nakikinabang hanggat pinaka mababang kababayan natin. No? So there's no reason for us to oust actually the present administration.
PNP Chief Albayalde also says moves to unseat the president is no longer new, as it has been a tradition of the opposition to resist the present administration. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
The Department of Labor and Employment Secretary Silvestre Bello III stated on Monday that it is not possible to oust President Duterte given that he has 80% support of the public. The statement came after Bello was asked about the conspiracy plot to oust the president this October.
How can you oust a president who is very popular and has about 80% support of the people?
Bello ardently underscored that the so-called Red October is just hearsay, and he does not think it will push through. The government chief negotiator also stressed that localized peace talks with communist rebels will push through and that the government negotiating panel is currently reviewing certain provisions. Meanwhile, Malacanang disagrees with the claims of former Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile that only one was executed and nobody was arrested under the martial law declared by the late President Ferdinand Marcos. In an interview that was published by former Senator Bong Marcos, Enrile said that no one was killed and arrested due to their political and religious beliefs during the martial law era. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says the laws created to compensate the victims of abuses clearly prove there were human rights abuses during the martial rule. Roque also believes that Enrile's claims cannot distort history.
As far as the palace is concerned, there are decisions affirming that there were grave human rights violations committed during the Marcos regime. There's even a law in Congress which provides for compensation for victims of martial law.
The Philippine National Police is serious over filing charges against blogger Drew Olivar for his post that insinuated threats of a bomb explosion. In his post last September 21, Olivar warned of an alleged bomb explosion that might happen in EDSA, coinciding with the commemoration of the declaration of martial law under the Marcos regime. According to PNP Director General Oscar Albayalde, Olivar will face charges in violation of Presidential Decree 1727 or malicious dissemination of false information of any threat concerning bombs, explosives, or any similar device. This is even after Olivar expressed remorse on the matter when he appeared before PNP officials last Saturday, saying his post was intended for his friends and family.
Si Drew Bolivar has learned his lesson and he'll be charged for violation of PD 1727 o yung bomb joke. No? Hindi lang siya maarestong during that time, it's because nangyari na yun na medyo matagal na. But he will be formally charged in court.
OPM singer Bugoy Drilon is prepared and excited for his big day tomorrow. Leslie Longbowen tells us why.
After months of preparation, versatile OPM act Bugoy Drilon is ready for his first major solo concert tomorrow. Bugoy assures fans that his one-day, one-decade concert is worth a watch.
I want it to be special because this is my first concert and I waited for 10 years na mangyari to. So I'm really hands-on.
Celebrating his first decade in the music industry are his friends who have been part of his journey. Among them are R&B heartthrobs Daryl Ong and Michael Pangilinan, who are part of Bugoy's new group Budakel. His special guests include Yeng Constantino, KZ Tandigan, Clarice de Guzman, among others.
Meron kaming prod na magkakasama kami yung Budakel. So yun, kaabang-abang yung gagawin namin sa concert.
First time namin gagawin yung medley na yun.
Bugoy's 10th anniversary concert is presented by Wish 1075. The OPM singer's viral Wish-lusive performance of One Day now has almost 80 million views and earned many positive comments. Bugoy's One Day, One Decade concert will be held at the Kia Theater on Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Leslie Longbowen, UNTV News and Rescue, Makati City.
The Philippine Children's Medical Center assures there is no dengue outbreak in the facility following the death of a doctor due to severe dengue. Aiko Miguel will tell us why in this exclusive report.
The administration of the Philippine Children's Medical Center allays public fears over an alleged outbreak of dengue in the facility following the death of a doctor due to severe dengue, while 4 others have recovered from the disease. The hospital's executive director, Dr. Julius Lesiones, assures there is no reason for patients and visitors to refrain from going into the facility.
Hindi naman ang ospital ngayon na kung pumunta ka ay magkakadengge ka dito sa ospital. That we assure the public. Hindi nila dapat katakutan ang pagpunta sa ospital.
He stresses that there is no outbreak of dengue within the facility. In fact, it is one of the hospitals that treat emergency cases of dengue.
Ang PCMC ay isa sa mga ospital na talagang tumatanggap ng mga mahihirap na kaso. At kabilang na yan ang dengue na kung idating sa amin ay talaga nga namang ma-ICU na ang karamihan sa kanila. At sa ngayon, sila ang nakakapuno ngayon ng ICU namin.
The PCMC appeals to the public not to link the incident to dengue as it is a different concern and also in respect of the doctor's family and colleagues as they grieve the loss of a dedicated pediatric surgeon.
Wala po sa mga doktor namin na naapektuhan ng dengue infection. Dito sa ospital, wala pong nabakunahan ng dengue.
To prevent further spread of dengue, the hospital management ordered a continuous cleaning, misting and fogging especially at the hospital's outpatient ward where the 5 doctors contracted dengue.
Tuloy-tuloy nga ang aming pag-search and destroy, tuloy-tuloy ang general cleaning ng buong hospital. In fact, nitong weekend, talagang nagkaroon ng malawakang paglilinis, nag-mist and spraying ng insecticide at kasama na rin doon yung fogging para lang matanggal o mawala ang mga lamok na ito.
All 1,020 employees were also ordered for a general checkup to ensure that no one else has contracted the disease. The hospital management has also coordinated with the local government of Quezon City to intensify information and awareness campaign so that residents in the surrounding area of PCMC will be warned to protect against dengue. All visitors are also being strictly checked, especially arriving children, as they are the most vulnerable to any kinds of diseases. The PCMC is expecting for the arrival of representatives from the DOH Epidemiology Bureau and the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine for the overall checking and evaluation on the health conditions of all staff, doctors, and patients within the facility. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The local government of Quezon City will start phasing out tricycle units soon and will replace them with electric tricycles. Monokson will tell us why.
After the plan of phasing out jeepneys, the local government of Quezon City will soon phase out the conventional tricycles. But this will not be done abruptly. That is why the local government must implement it carefully. The 25,000 conventional tricycles in the city will be replaced with electric tricycles. E-trikes were donated by Japan through the Japan International Cooperation Agency or JICA. The LGU will first make a study for 3 months to see if using e-trike will be an effective replacement for tricycles. A dry run will be conducted by deploying 5 e-trikes per route around South Triangle including EDSA Kamuning, Scout Chuatoco, and Panay Avenue.
Ang project natin, continuing to. Hanggat palitan namin lahat ng mga tricycle natin na conventional, yung 25,000, yun ang direksyon namin. The sooner, the better for everybody.
The local government is now preparing the program that will be offered to tricycle operators to help them transfer to the modern e-trike. The dropping and substitution method will be used.
Kasi may prangkisa yung mga conventional natin, isosoli sa amin yon, tatanggalin natin ng sidecar para magamit na naman nila yung motorsiklo. Pero ito na, in lieu of the sidecar nila, itong buo na unit na to ipapalit natin doon. Tapos ibebenta sa kanila at cost syempre, pero may subsidy din konti sa gobyerno natin.
An e-trike costs 400,000 compared to a regular tricycle that costs 200,000 pesos. The e-trike can accommodate 6 passengers and can run at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour and a distance of 60 kilometers when full charge. Tricycle operators are in favor with the program on the condition that they will be given enough time.
Pwede siguro kung makapagbigay sila ng subsidiya.
pwede yun. Kung magbibigay sila ng magandang offer eh. Bakit hindi? Kasi mas medyo komportable nga yun eh. Maluwag eh.
Okay lang po kung sa tamang proseso po. Walang problema.
Tricycles are under the jurisdiction of the local government and not under the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Oil firms are set to impose another round of price increase this week. As advised by oil industry players, a 40 centavo hike will be implemented in the price of gasoline per liter, 20 centavos on diesel and 15 centavos on kerosene. The price increase will take effect tomorrow at 6 in the morning. The Department of Energy says this week's oil price adjustment is due to the sanction imposed by the United States on Iran, causing the latter to export less oil. Retirees of the Armed Forces of the Philippines is seeking court intervention for the release of almost 19 billion pension arrears. May Bermudez will tell us why.
Complete and fair distribution of portions of their pension. This has been the call of retired AFP members as they bring their case before the Court of Appeals. AFP Retirees and Pensioners National Coordinating Council filed a petition with the Appellate Court to compel the Department of Budget and Management, Department of National Defense, and the Armed Forces of the Philippines to implement the 2015 decision of the Commission on Audit approving the release of almost 19 billion peso pension arrearages.
The court said, we have made the decision. It is up to the DBM, DND, and AP to implement that decision. And yet, these three agencies of the government, with due respect, they are not complying it sincerely and faithfully. Only 1/3 of that 18.960 billion was released.
Life turns difficult for Aling Lorinda when his husband, who is an AFP retiree, died due to a heart disease. She is appealing to the government to release the money that her family is supposed to receive.
Mahirap talaga kasi ang differential na yan, siyempre inaasahan din namin. Halimbawa, yung kami, hindi naman may pension kami, siyempre yung pangangailangan din namin, halimbawa yung mga maintenance namin, pambili ng mga gamot, yung mga ganyan, pangangailangan sa mga bahay namin.
Diba, pinagkakamatayan na. O hindi na nakukuha nila yung pera nila. Sabi niya, bakit naman yung iba nakakuha na? Bakit kami wala pa?
UNTV News and Rescue team is still trying to get the side of DBM, AFP, and DND, but they have yet to issue a statement regarding the issue. May Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Pirates have kidnapped 12 crew members, including 7 Filipinos, from a Swiss cargo vessel in Nigerian waters. Masoel Shipping says its vessel, MV Glarus, was carrying wheat from Lienagos to Port Harcourt when it was attacked on Saturday. The intruders struck 45 nautical miles from Bonny Island in the Niger Delta, taking 12 of the 19 crew hostage. The Masoel spokesman says the crew members' families are being closely informed of the situation. Women who are likely to run for the 2019 senatorial elections are on top of the latest Pulse Asia survey. Monokson will tell us why.
Leading on the top 5 list in the latest Pulse Asia survey are women running for the 2019 senatorial elections. Senator Grace Poe is leading with a voter preference of 70.1%. Second to third is Senator Cynthia Villar with 57.7%. Second to fourth place is Taguig City Representative Pia Cayetano with 54.4%. Third to fourth place is Senator Nancy Binay with 50.6%. And in fifth to sixth place is Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio with 39.5%. Also, those who made it in the top 12 of the survey were Senator Juan Edgardo Angara, former Senator Jinggoy Estrada, Ilocos Norte Governor Amy Marcos, Senator Aquilino Pimentel III, and former Senators Lito Lapid and Sergio Osmeña III. Among possible opposition bets, only former Interior Secretary Manuel Rojas II got in the top 12, while hanging in the race for top 17 were actor Robin Padilla, former Senator Bong Revilla, broadcaster Ramon Tulfo, Bucor Chief Ronald Bato de la Rosa, and Senator J.V. Ejercito. Senator J.V. Ejercito admitted being sad with the result of the survey, saying the surname Estrada is working against him. He said that the surname Estrada is more popular than Ejercito.
It will be a big challenge, I know, because Estrada is like, it's a brand, it's already a household brand in politics. It's been there for 50 years, and Ejercito has only been there for 5 years. That because I'm the first one to use Ejercito in the national level. So ang layo ng diferensya.
Conversely, Senator Nancy Binay is happy with the result of the survey.
Gusto kong magpasalamat at tumaas tayo sa survey. But sabi ko nga, marami pa tayong pagdadaanan till the May election.
On the other hand, Sap Bongo, who is likely to run for senator under the administration ticket, placed 22nd to 27th in the survey. Meanwhile, presidential spokesperson appealed to the public to consider the qualifications of those running for the 2019 elections.
Kung sino yung mga nangangalampag, bukod sa kanilang relasyon sa kanilang mga ama, ano naman ang kakayahang pinakita nila, ano mga batas ang napasa nila. No? Marami doon, mga re-electionists, marami doon, mga comebacking. Ano bang narinig yung batas na ginawa nila?
The survey was done nationwide with 1,800 registered voters aged 18 years old and above. Mon Hocson, UNTV News and Rescue, Senate of the Philippines.
The Senate defenders and NHA builders maintain their early group leads in the ongoing elimination rounds in the UNTV Cup Season 7. Victor Cosare tells us why.
Season 6 champion Senate defenders and NHA builders keep their early edge in contrasting fashions in the UNTV Cup Season 7 over the weekend at the GSIS Gymnasium in Pasay City. The Senate remains on top of the Group A after toppling the GSIS Furies 78-51. The game's best player, Gary Sevilla, led the defenders to victory with his 18-point finish. Head coach Mike Fermin says their intensified maneuvers were inspired from a near upset in the hands of swift-footed PITC Global Traders in their September 3 match.
Collective effort kasi from last game namin, lousy defense kami, sobra. So eto, parang challenge namin yung mga players to play individual defense na mas tougher para we're not going to make them make easy baskets.
But importante pa rin na realize namin ngayon is yung practice talaga as a team.
The NHA builders also maintain their early Group B lead after routing the PhilHealth Plus 103-100 to claim their second win. Twin Towers Jesse Alastoy and Marvin Mercado led the NHA by bucketing 13 and 19 points respectively. NHA head coach Bennett Palad attributes their victory to enhancing the team's agility by observing their opponent's moves.
Malaki yung ginawa namin paghahanda kasi alam ko quick ang team na to, maliliit. So, inaral namin lahat, yung safety, yung quickness nila.
The PhilHealth Plus, meanwhile, blames their second defeat to low energy and lack of able players.
Una sa lahat, marami tayong mga players na nasa injury, kaya maraming wala. Pangalawa, naiwanan kami, mababa yung energy namin ng first half, but we made the adjustments. Pero ang pinaka-critical dito, siguro yung free throw shootings. Free throw shooting namin percentage masyadong mababa.
The PNP Responders, meanwhile, snags its first victory after clobbering PITC Global Traders in a heart-thundering game, 80-77. PO1 Anton Tolentino's buzzer-beater three-point shot thrown from beyond the court's half served as the key to defeating the PITC. His 16-point finish earned him the Best Player of the Game title.
Well, siguro nung depensa namin kasi nung lesson learned kami last game against GSIS, kaya naman kami nahabol kasi nung poor defense namin. So kanina natuwa ako sa mga teammates ko, hindi kami
nag-give up, dumipensa. So sa tingin ko, yun talaga pinaka-nagpanalo namin.
Part of the game talagang breaks of the game lang kami natalo. I think we did better than nag-collapse nung first game. Pero this time, naka-recover kami. We were down by 11 when we started. Yung first half, medyo sabog kami. Pero nakabalik naman yung mga boys. Along the way, we'll be better.
Victor Casare, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Up next on Y News.
Alcohol kills. There is no such safe alcohol consumption.
The World Health Organization reports that alcohol abuse kills 3 million people every year. Tiger Woods wins PGA Tour title after a 5-year drought. And 150 paragliders in costumes color the French Alps sky. And those are the reasons behind the stories in the second part of our newscast. Y News returns with William Thio. I'm Angelo, Castro III. Good evening.